Representative Cassell, you said you had one more.
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Your answers prompted another question for me. So obviously when we see types of legislation like this, you mentioned we've got some bad actors out there. And it seems from your presentation that those bad actors, it's really in how much they're able to transfer into the general revenue, but you don't have a cap on that transfer amount in your bill. So where I have some concerns with some of the cities that I service that I think are doing it right and have a rational basis and are providing an equitable rate for those that they're servicing outside of their city, they're one of the good actors. This completely takes away their ability, to continue to do this in the equitable manner that's been here since the 1800s. So if the bad actors that we're looking at stopping, what they're doing is transferring too much into general revenue, did you look at considering putting a cap on this, that if you charge this and you're able to transfer 30%, that it should be 10%, and that means you're charging too high rates and we shouldn't be allowed to charge the 25% surcharge and you should go down? Like, did you look at any other options rather than a blanket, no cities can charge this surcharge from here on out?
You're recognized.
Thank you. We did look at other options. And when I say that I think that there's a reasonable surcharge amount, where I came from, we transferred money, okay, which is 6 to 8%. 6% franchise fee is typical for FP&L, Comcast, any other utility provider, okay? It's not unreasonable. There are expenses that the city general fund incurs, and you ought to be able to recoup them from that standpoint, okay? I have no problem with that. I think you could probably get, based on my experience, even as high as 8 or 9 or 10%. Okay, but past that, I don't think it would I don't think this, with those numbers, it disrupts the business at all, unless they're using that money for other things outside of things that benefit all their customers. That only benefit a portion of their customers.
One more. I can see it in your face. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is early, so my brain's not as quick right now. I need a little bit more coffee. And I just lost my train of thought, but you mentioned, that we allow our private utilities to charge a certain profit. You're saying around that 8 to 9%. Do we have examples, or do you have examples of municipalities that are far exceeding maybe what would be a reasonable percentage to transfer? And based on your response, you said that they are using it for things that aren't servicing those particular customers. So do you have examples of situations where that's occurring that this bill is going to address?
Recognized.
Thank you. And let me correct that. When I say the franchise fee of 6% for other utilities, that's what they're paying the municipality. They're paying them a 6% franchise fee because they're using their right-of-ways. Okay, and that's what they pay to use the right-of-ways and to run their lines and their pipes and everything else in those areas. Yes, there are examples of different communities that do it, and the common thing you hear is, if you cut these and don't let me transfer the money I want to transfer, I'm going to have to cut police officers. Police officers that don't serve the unincorporated area. And so they are funding other projects. And I know it from my own city. Before I was there, they were funding things to the electric, pet peeve projects through this that didn't help the unincorporated area at all. I watched it happen. One of the reasons I ran for office was so we could sell our electric to FP&L, okay? And so I witnessed it firsthand, and that's what we're trying to avoid, that standpoint.